nothing, no streak of light at the end of the tunnel. There was none.
It really looked, the prospects were bleak.
War was going to start on a Monday, and it had been ordered. And I don't want to say by who.
It was all dark. There was no way forward. After that, I couldn't see any way forward, because all that there was now was that we're not going to elections, you see. So, I mean, it was very, very sad and gloomy, and it was all gloom.
I was now packing up, and then the security comes and knocks at my door and tells me that everybody, Kissinger and Carrington and everybody, have said goodbye to Buthelezi. You are the only one who has not said goodbye to him. Actually, I was not even thinking of going to say goodbye to him at all. So they say, he's waiting for you in his room. So I stopped packing and I went to his room. And he called his entire cabinet. And he put a chair and sat next to me. And he told me, my brother, what next? Very much pained. Then I told him that I cannot see any solution except civil war. So I looked at Buthelezi, and then one of his assistants, who was an Afrikaner, who pulled me aside and said, Professor, you are the only one who Buthelezi listens to. Can you advise him that he should retain, he should negotiate?
I had to leave Johannesburg the following day for home.
When I called Buthelezi's room, he had left.
And just when I was about to reach the airport called Lanseria Airport, I received a message in the phone that Professor Kumu was on his way. He was on his way to the airport, wanted to meet with me. I was a bit surprised.
And they quickly organized a taxi for me to chase Buthelezi at Lanseria. He had gone to Lanseria to pick up a plane because he had got a meeting with the king.
But then I waited and he didn't come. Then I decided, there was someone in my party who was going to see the king that same day. So the time was really getting late, and I was worried about him being late for the meeting with the king. So I left.
When I arrived at the airport, a white man with overall ran towards me and told me, unfortunately, Professor, Buthelezi could not wait for you anymore. The plane had taken off. He had gone. I was crestfallen.
But just shortly when it took off, we were told that there's something wrong with the plane. It was a new plane too. I couldn't understand that.
The manager came to me running, saying, Professor, we've just got a telephone call from the pilot saying that the plane had developed technical fault in mid-air and Buthelezi is coming back. So they put me in a room to wait for him. When the plane landed, he came into the room and embraced me. And he told me that, Professor, I'm glad I've come back. Then these are the words he used. God, before he even knew what I was going to tell him, God knows why that my meeting with you is more important than with the king. Before he even sat down, and before knowing what I wanted to tell him, while the pilot and the technicians were looking at what was wrong in the plane. So I sat with him and talked to him.
So I believe that Professor Washington Okumu was in fact an instrument of the Lord in allowing that, in actually allowing himself to be used by God in a special way to bring about that kind of rapprochement between us as leaders that led to the signing of that agreement.